I think the fan base is owed an apology. Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
Do or do not. There is no try.
It's been a long time since I've done a Star Wars video, and that's for good reason. For one, I don't like to harp on things too much, and also I've gotten to the point where I just don't care anymore, which is pretty sad coming from a lifelong Star Wars fan. But this needs to be spoken on because honestly, this is vindicating. So in a recent interview with Collider, J.J. Abrams basically confirms that there was no plans for the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy.
No shit.
Now, we all knew that already, so why is this significant? Well, it's important for a few reasons. For one, we have a big-time player in Hollywood who worked on these films basically admitting that Disney and Lucasfilm phoned it in, which is something that us fans have been saying for years now, and we were all attacked for it. What makes it even more interesting is that he's telling Collider of all people this. For those that don't know, Collider was the leading force on YouTube and in the media who disrespected fans for bringing up these very valid and now justified criticisms. So I believe that Lucasfilm, Collider, J.J. Abrams, Kathleen Kennedy, Rian Johnson, and anyone else in the media who disrespected the fans now owe us all an apology.
I have the high ground!
Now, of course, this will never happen, but let's look at the facts for a minute. These people were handed a sure-thing, crowd-pleasing franchise that had a multi-generational fan base, and they squandered that opportunity because they didn't care enough to try and craft a coherent trilogy. It's all about guys with laser swords, right? And of course, letting the past die and killing it if you have to. Does any of this sound like it's coming from people who actually give a shit about the source material?
Fuck you!
JJ was specifically asked about the writer-director handoff between each entry in the trilogy. Now I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that JJ at least had an idea of where he thought the story was going after The Force Awakens. If he had worked on the whole trilogy, we wouldn't have got anything that was probably any good, and it probably wasn't going to be original, but at least it would have been a little bit more coherent. JJ goes on to state that having a plan is the most important thing in this situation. Oh really? Because otherwise you don't know what you're setting up. Oh really? You want to be leading and building to something inevitable. No shit. Well, apparently Disney and Lucasfilm didn't think that was so important when they hired Rian Johnson to continue the trilogy. Because Rian Johnson basically proceeded to undo everything that J.J. Abrams set up in The Force Awakens. And as a result, the characters and the story feel very random and not well thought out. And then when JJ inevitably came back for The Rise of Skywalker, he proceeded to undo everything that Rian Johnson did. You clearly had competing ideologies between each entry, and Disney and Lucasfilm signed off on all these decisions. Here's a tip, maybe you don't have release dates for movies before the first entry is out. And maybe you shouldn't be writing the second entry in the trilogy before the first one is even completed. This level of ineptitude shouldn't be happening at a company that has this many resources. This level of carelessness should not be present when you have the opportunity to continue the biggest franchise in cinematic history.
That makes sense.
And when the people who knew this was the problem called you out on your bullshit, you tried to paint us as the bad guys. So I say fuck you and your movies that are Star Wars in name only. Fuck you for knowing that we were right and trying to spin a narrative anyway. Disney is absolute garbage and no one should be giving them a dime until they apologize for ruining this franchise and disrespecting this fan base.
First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
I haven't given them any of my money in a very long time, and honestly, I don't plan to. I have more respect for myself and for this franchise. I have too much respect for the idea of artistic integrity for me to ever support a company like Disney or Lucasfilm. JJ is basically telling you that they didn't care enough to make this trilogy great without actually saying it. They just saw this as a way to print money and underestimated our intelligence and our standards. You have to show them that quality matters. If you demand better and you hit them where it hurts and that's in their pocketbook, they will have no choice but to reevaluate how they do business. Thank you, J.J. Abrams, for confirming what we already knew, and I'll be expecting my apology any day now.
You lose! Good day, sir!
So let me know what you thought about all this in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Y'all be cool. Nah.